the results are in. You guys really love the SBF videos, so Merry Christmas. Here's yet another SBF themed video in the ever unfolding SBF saga. Hey everyone, it's D5 Bay, and I'm bringing you the last video of the year. We made it. We're here. This is Crypto Rewind 2022. All right. The latest and greatest in the SBF saga. As some of you may have predicted, money is a great tool, and SBF has just been released on a $250 million bail secured by Daddy. Must be nice. So in this article by CoinDesk, they said, in his first court appearance since being extradited from the Bahamas just a few days ago, the former CEO was told he can live with his parents on a $250 million bail secured by their Palo Alto house. I wonder, is he going to be sleeping on a beanbag or a really, really fancy Casper mattress? Deluxe edition. They also included a long list of requirements for him to remain free while he faces charges. And here's another interesting development. Caroline Ellison, who was the CEO of Alameda, has entered a plea agreement which would waive her of any charges except criminal tax violations if she fully cooperates with the U.S. Attorney's Office. Her bail is only $250,000. Plus, she has to surrender travel documents and forfeit any proceeds derived from the commission of the offenses that she has been charged with. And depending on her citizenship status, if she's a US citizen, she'll have to travel domestically only. She can't leave the country. But if she is not a US citizen, then she will have to be deported immediately. The only reason I say she may not be a US citizen is because she might have abandoned it for tax reasons while she was living in the Bahamas, because this is actually a popular trend among crypto traders living abroad because the US taxes non-residents. But this deal does not guarantee that other agencies will not pursue prosecution at a later date. She will also need to pay restitution of any amount determined by the court. So overall, it doesn't seem too bad. The other executive, Gary Wang, has also entered a plea deal with the attorney's office. So it seems like while SBF has been going on his PR apology tour, his previous accomplices have been ratting him out. And as far as the SEC goes, they're still keeping busy. They classified FTT as a security in a complaint against Caroline Ellison and Gary Wang. In a 38-page complaint filed by the SEC to the U.S. District Court, Southern District of New York, claims that from the time of offering, FTT was offered and sold as an investment contract and therefore a security. In this tweet by Miles, he says that he points out that 1, you couldn't buy FTT in the US. 2, this sets a dangerous precedent for other tokens. And 3, if it is a security, then many influencers, counterparties, and VCs have broken the law. And this other tweet by Mike Shedlock points out that Binance, a rival cryptocurrency exchange, was also a large holder of FTT. His question of the day asks, if FTX tokens are now a security, how are Binance tokens not a security? How long before Binance collapses and or Binance CEO CZ is charged with fraud? And so here's where the FUD meter goes like through the roof. And this could be well-founded or it could amount to nothing. This does feel like a further move against Binance. In the meantime, if you're a US citizen, might want to be careful playing around with BNB. Meanwhile, the Financial Times reports that a group of FTX customers are seeking priority repayment of around $1.6 billion that are still locked in their custody wallets on FTX. They're being represented by Evershed Sutherland, who's petitioning the Delaware Bankruptcy Court to approve faster repayments for their clients on the basis that the customer funds are custody assets and not part of FTX's bankruptcy estate. So keep your eyes on this, because if it goes through, could help set a precedent for priority payment for other customers that have funds stuck on bankrupt centralized exchanges like Voyager, Celsius, BlockFi, etc. Speaking of the bankrupt crypto lender Voyager, they have finally found a buyer. And it's none other than Binance US, who's agreed to buy their assets for about $1.02 billion. It's kind of funny how things have turned out, because if you remember earlier this year, Voyager initially agreed to sell their assets to FTX, who had beaten out competitors like Wave Financial and Binance. It's like a circle of life here. And yes, Binance has been under intensified scrutiny recently, worldwide and in the US, while also being involved in insolvency rumors. But I'm gonna save that for another video, because that is beyond the scope of this cute little crypto rewind. In any case, I've personally withdrawn about 90% of my funds from Binance. I'm neither confirming nor denying this rumor. I am just saying, me personally, in my situation, better safe than sorry. And with zero segue whatsoever, Donald Trump enters NFTs. Because in my opinion, he's trying to stay relevant and make headlines that are not related to tax fraud or insurrection, January 6th, etc. So the original mint price was $99, and the collection has performed like every other pump and dump in the space, shooting up to a high of about 0.53 ETH floor price before crashing just a few days later to around 0.18 ETH floor price. And whether you love him or hate him, this collection was obviously going to sell out, because controversy sells. Like if you love Donald Trump, and subscribe if you hate Donald Trump. I mean, also just look at it. It's so ridiculous. And I want to point out something interesting. If we look at this Dune Analytics dashboard, you can see that a majority of the minters did it from a gasless wallet, meaning it was likely new and they probably minted with their credit card, and so they don't have the crypto to pay for any gas fees, like listing for sale or even transferring out. So congrats to everyone that got Trojan horse bamboozled into NFTs. Welcome. Takeaway from all of this: if you can be polarizing, the world is your oyster. And before Santa gives you coal for being a little degenerate this year, make sure you like and subscribe to get off the naughty list. But you know who's stuck on the naughty list for a while? OneCoin scam co-founder Sebastian Greenwood, who has just pleaded guilty like 4 years later and faces 60 years in jail. So if you're not familiar with OneCoin, consider yourself lucky, because he was essentially like the SBF Ponzi of the last bull cycle. Yes, I know, as an industry, we should really stop outdoing ourselves every bull cycle. That would be great. He, along with others, have been accused of defrauding users anywhere between $4 to $15 billion. OneCoin was founded by Sebastian and Ruja Ignatova, who is actually like the face, the poster child for it.
In the last 2 years, I've been called a lot of things. And probably the best thing that the press called me was OneCoin, who is supposed to be the Bitcoin killer. Well, I must say I like it. And no other cryptocurrency has as many users as we do.
And OneCoin was a crypto Ponzi scheme where they paid existing investors with money from new investors, and it was marketed as the Bitcoin killer, but in fact it wasn't even a real cryptocurrency. There was no blockchain, there was no decentralization, there was no mining. In fact, it was a centralized coin hosted on OneCoin limited servers. Let's look at this email correspondence back in 2014, where Greenwood and Ignatova were developing the concept for OneCoin. In the emails, they referred to it as trashy coin. I am especially good in this very borderline case where things become gray, and you as the magic sales machine, and me as someone who really can work with numbers, legal, and back you up in a good and professional way, we could really make it big, like MLM meets Bitch of Wall Street. Winking face. In another email between the two, Ignatova described her thoughts on the exit strategy for OneCoin. First option that Ignatova listed was take the money and run and blame someone else for this. And then later on, in exchange with her brother, Greenwood referred to OneCoin investors stating, "These people are idiots," to which Ignatova responded, "As you told me, the network would not work with intelligent people." Winky face. In another email, Ignatova said, "We're building our own cryptocurrency. We would like to be able to set the price manually and automatically, and also control the traded volume." As of June this year, Ruja Ignatova has been added to FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list. She was known as the Cryptoqueen, and she actually disappeared in 2017, right before a secret US warrant was filed for her arrest. On October 12, 2017, Ignatova was charged and a federal warrant was issued for her arrest. She traveled from Sofia, Bulgaria to Athens, Greece, and has not been seen since. The FBI is offering up to $100,000 for information leading to her arrest, and when she disappeared in 2017, her brother Constantine took her place and pleaded guilty to counts of fraud, money laundering, and faces several years in jail. There's been some interesting rumors saying that she's had extensive plastic surgery so as to escape arrest, and so far it's working. She is still at large. I'm actually surprised that there have been no movies made about OneCoin, but I guess there's still time. We'll see how the SBF movie does. Special Agent Shimko said Ignatova targeted individuals who may not have fully understood the ins and outs of cryptocurrencies, but were moved by Ignatova's impressive resume and the marketing strategies used by OneCoin. And I'm actually shocked by the amount of people who don't verify. That's not you though, because you're watching my channel. Please do your own research, be an adult, and if it's something you don't understand, either accept the gamble, hopefully with money that you can afford to lose, or just don't touch it. It's mind-blowing. And the amount of time that I've spent in the crypto space, I've actually noticed something ring very true, and that's the saying, it's easier to fool someone than convince them that they have been fooled. I've actually personally experienced this myself when I was trying to tell some friends about shady coins that had cult-like attachments to them, Safe Moon. And the interesting effect is that instead of becoming more wary of it or perhaps doing more research into it, they actually clung to the coin more and became more defensive of their investment. So sure, call it investment bias, but also it's easier to fool someone than convince them that they have been fooled. If you compare this scheme to what SBF has done, it could be years before SBF sees any jail time. But yeah, so it's end of the year. Let's check out Coinbase Bytes Crypto Wrap 2022. Here are some fun numbers that we can wrap this up on. All right. So 2 trillion is the approximate value that the crypto market has shed since the 3 trillion peak last November. 18.3 billion is the amount of venture capital raised by startups during the first 3 quarters of this year, which goes to show that steady VC investment in Web3 has defied bear market headwinds. $135 million is the amount of crypto donations raised for Ukraine in the first 3 months after Russia invaded in February. And they were able to quickly use funds for supplies like medical kits, bulletproof vests, surveillance drones, and food. 2.4 million is the approximate number of new users who made a trade using Polygon in 2022. Polygon's new user growth accelerated faster than both Ethereum and Solana in the same time period. 114, number of nations that are exploring their own CBDCs. That's not cool. 99.95 was the merge, which you can watch more about here. 96%, the price decline of Terra's Luna token in a 24-hour period in May. A moment of silence. 14 is the age as of October 31st, Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin white paper. And next month on January 3rd, Bitcoin will celebrate the 14th anniversary of the first transaction ever recorded on the network. 9.1%. Yep, this year's peak inflation from June's Consumer Price Index. Yikes, which is the worst year-over-year inflation increase in 41 years. 8, the number of charges that federal prosecutors in Manhattan have brought against SBF. And number 1, Vietnam's ranking on Chainalysis 2022 Global Crypto Adoption Index, the second straight year that it held the top spot. And that's it for this video. I am so grateful for everyone that has subscribed and joined in on my crypto journey. I can't believe we're almost about to hit 1,000 subscribers. That's incredible. You guys are amazing. Thanks so much for watching. Happy holidays, and I will see you next year. Peace.